Our story begins with high school students embarking on an exciting field trip to Columbia University. Among them is Peter Parker, our main character, a shy, unfashionable boy who's completely smitten with his classmate Mary Jane Watson. Peter desperately wants to be her friend, but Mary's popular friends constantly tease him because they outnumber him. Peter's only real friend is Harry Osborn, an aristocratic kid whose father happens to be a brilliant scientist at Columbia University. Unlike Harry's privileged background, Peter is an orphan living with his beloved uncle and aunt. During their university visit, the students are taken to the genetics lab where they're shown various species of spiders and learn about their fascinating characteristics. Peter, being the aspiring photographer he is, secretly takes photos of Mary Jane, hoping to get closer to her. But fate has other plans. While he's distracted, a genetically modified spider bites him. After the bite, Peter returns home feeling terrible. His condition rapidly worsens, and he collapses into unconsciousness. What he doesn't realize is that his entire physique and mentality are beginning to transform. His DNA is evolving, developing new genes that will change him from an ordinary human into something extraordinary, a superhuman. Meanwhile, we meet Harry's father, Norman Osborn, a brilliant but ambitious scientist working on military weapons for the government. Norman decides to test his experimental formula on himself, but the experiment goes horribly wrong. The imbalanced formula drives him completely insane, and in his madness, he loses control and kills his laboratory assistant. The next morning, Peter wakes up to discover incredible changes. His vision is perfect, he no longer needs his thick glasses. His once scrawny body has become muscular and powerful. These new abilities manifest at school when he saves Mary Jane from a nasty fall and catches her lunch tray with lightning-fast reflexes. Mary Jane is definitely impressed. But during lunch, something even stranger happens. Peter notices webs shooting from his hands. As he struggles to control this new power, his lunch tray accidentally hits some bullies. Everyone starts laughing at the spectacle, and when Peter tries to leave, the tray gets stuck to his shirt cuff and drags behind him, leaving everyone stunned. When those same bullies try to jump Peter later, his enhanced spider sense kicks in, allowing him to detect danger instantly. Combined with his new superhuman strength and agility, he easily defeats them all. Walking home, Peter discovers he can crawl up walls and stick to any surface, just like a real spider. Realizing the full extent of his incredible powers, Peter sees an opportunity to make some quick money. He decides to enter a wrestling tournament and even designs himself a red and blue Spider-Man costume. The morning of the big match, Peter's Uncle Ben drives him to the venue. During this car ride, Uncle Ben delivers some life-changing wisdom. With great power comes great responsibility. These words will haunt Peter for the rest of his life. At the wrestling match, Peter easily defeats a massive, muscular opponent thanks to his spider powers. However, the promoter cheats him out of his prize money. When a thief suddenly appears and robs the promoter, fleeing with all the cash, the promoter begs Peter to stop him. But Peter, still angry about being cheated, refuses. "You should have thought of that before you ripped me off," he says coldly. Peter's decision comes back to haunt him in the worst possible way. When he leaves the building, he finds a crowd gathered around a terrible scene. The same thief he refused to stop has carjacked and murdered Uncle Ben. Peter is devastated. The man who raised him is gone, and it's partially his fault. Filled with rage and guilt, Peter uses his powers to track down the killer. He corners the thief in an abandoned warehouse, but during their confrontation, the criminal accidentally falls through a window to his death. Peter returns to his Aunt May, and together they mourn the loss of the most important man in their lives. Meanwhile, Norman Osborn's madness continues to consume him. The failed experiment has completely destroyed his sanity, and he's determined to eliminate everyone who criticized his work. He dons a terrifying green metallic suit and rides a high-tech glider, becoming the villainous Green Goblin. His first target? A rival company's board meeting, where he kills everyone involved in competing military contracts. After graduating from high school, Peter remembers his uncle's wise words about responsibility. He puts on his Spider-Man costume and dedicates his life to fighting crime. Whenever evil threatens innocent people anywhere in the city, his spider sense alerts him, and he swings into action. Over time, Spider-Man becomes a legendary figure in New York City. People tell wild stories about him. Some think he's a superhuman hero, others believe he's literally a giant spider. To make ends meet, Peter gets a job selling photographs to the Daily Bugle newspaper. Ironically, he provides them with the clearest pictures of Spider-Man because, well, he is Spider-Man. The editor, J. Jonah Jameson, hates Spider-Man but loves Peter's photos, paying him well for exclusive shots that other photographers can't get due to Spider-Man's incredible speed. Norman Osborn's company decides to fire him due to his increasingly erratic behavior and the financial losses he's causing. This news sends him over the edge. In a fit of rage, the Green Goblin attacks the World Unity Festival, a major cultural celebration where he can cause maximum destruction. Peter attends the festival to photograph the event for the newspaper. He spots his friends Harry and Mary Jane in the crowd just as his spider sense goes wild, warning him of impending danger. The Green Goblin arrives on his glider, and at first, people think it's just a new technological display for the festival. But their wonder quickly turns to terror when he drops a bomb, destroying an entire building. Chaos erupts as people run for their lives. Peter immediately springs into action, pulling people to safety with his webs when he sees building debris about to crush them. He quickly changes into his Spider-Man costume while his friends Harry and Mary Jane find themselves in mortal danger. The Green Goblin systematically murders the company board members with another explosive device, reducing them to skeletons. When falling debris knocks out Harry, and the Goblin approaches Mary Jane with deadly intent, Spider-Man intervenes. An epic battle ensues between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin. The villain's glider pursues our hero through the air as Spider-Man tries to rescue civilians. During the fight, Spider-Man blinds the Goblin with his webs, causing him to crash his glider. As the Green Goblin retreats, he taunts Spider-Man, "We'll meet again." Mary Jane, shaken but grateful, asks Spider-Man who he is. He cryptically replies, "Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." Later, the Green Goblin makes Spider-Man a tempting offer, join forces and they could rule the world together. But Spider-Man, being the hero he is, refuses. He's not interested in power, he only wants to protect innocent people. The Green Goblin's attacks escalate. He sets buildings on fire, forcing Spider-Man to constantly rescue trapped civilians. During one particularly intense battle, the Goblin wounds Spider-Man's hand with a razor-sharp attack. That evening, Peter joins Harry and others for dinner, still nursing his injured hand. The Green Goblin, who has been watching from the shadows, notices that Peter has the exact same wound that Spider-Man received in their fight. Norman Osborn finally realizes the truth: Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Knowing Peter's secret identity, the Green Goblin strikes where it hurts most. He attacks Aunt May in her home, putting her in the hospital. When Harry comes to visit Peter and his aunt, he notices the obvious romantic connection between Peter and Mary Jane. Feeling heartbroken because he also loves Mary Jane, Harry shares his feelings with his father. This gives Norman the perfect weapon against Spider-Man. He kidnaps Mary Jane and creates an impossible choice for our hero. The Green Goblin positions himself on the Queensboro Bridge with Mary Jane dangling from one side and a cable car full of children hanging from the other. He forces Spider-Man to choose, save the girl or save the kids, you can't do both. But Spider-Man refuses to accept this no-win scenario. When the Goblin releases both Mary Jane and the cable car simultaneously, Spider-Man performs an incredible feat of strength and speed. He catches Mary Jane first, then uses his web to stop the falling cable car. However, the strain is enormous, and his web line begins to snap under the weight. The people of New York, witnessing Spider-Man's heroic sacrifice, rally to help. They attack the Green Goblin with rocks and debris, buying Spider-Man precious time. He manages to get both Mary Jane and the children to safety on a rescue boat. The final confrontation between Spider-Man and the Green Goblin is brutal. The villain's relentless attacks wear down our hero, and Spider-Man's powers seem to weaken under the assault. The Green Goblin appears to have won, preparing to deliver the killing blow. But in that desperate moment, Spider-Man finds his inner strength. He remembers Uncle Ben's words about responsibility and channels all his remaining power. Using his webs, he brings down a massive wall, crushing the Green Goblin beneath it. However, Norman isn't finished yet. As Spider-Man approaches the seemingly defeated villain, Norman removes his Green Goblin mask and pleads for mercy, claiming the formula made him do terrible things. But it's all a trick, he's secretly activating his glider to attack Spider-Man from behind. Spider-Man's spider sense saves his life. He leaps away just as the glider's razor-sharp wings impale Norman Osborn instead. The Green Goblin has been defeated by his own weapon. Spider-Man takes Norman's body to the Osborn mansion, leaving it for Harry to find. He doesn't want his best friend to remember his father as a monster. In the final scene, we find Peter at Uncle Ben's grave, still mourning the man who taught him everything about being a hero. Mary Jane approaches and finally confesses her love for him. But Peter, knowing the dangers that come with being Spider-Man, makes the heartbreaking decision to keep his identity secret and his distance from the woman he loves. And that's how Peter Parker learned that with great power comes great responsibility, setting up his journey as the Amazing Spider-Man.